Hello everyone. I thought I'd try a longer story today. It is quite a long one, but I know that the stories I've been reading so far might be a little bit young for some of you. So I thought I'd try and go with something a bit longer. If you get bored halfway through, you can always pause it and come back to it later. But this story is called The Rainbow Mystery. Let's go. Have you ever wanted to be a detective? It's not easy. I know. I tried to solve a mystery once. A rainbow mystery. I was in the family room with my friend Mike. Mike never says much. Mum says that's why I like him. I'm loud. Mike is quiet. I talk. He listens. We were making a fort from a big box. Mike had found the box by the house next door. He was cutting out a window. I was telling him what to do. That's when I saw them. Hundreds of little rainbows. Mike, look! I yelled. Mike looked. He almost fell over. The little rainbows danced across the wall. Wow, was all he said. We watched the rainbows. They faded away. Then they were gone. We jumped up and ran outside. No rain, said Mike. I knew what he meant. Everyone knows rainbows come when it rains. But it wasn't raining. How could there be a rainbow without rain? I started thinking. One time I saw a rainbow in a patch of oil, I said. It wasn't raining then. We looked. There was no patch of oil. Last summer I saw a rainbow in a sprinkler, I said. Was there a sprinkler nearby? Nope. I remembered another time I saw a rainbow. My friend Kelly has a glass teardrop necklace. It makes a rainbow when the light hits it. I didn't bother to look. I knew there were no glass teardrop necklaces around. Mike and I sat down on the steps. It was late. The sun was low in the sky. We have to be detectives. We have to solve this mystery, I said. Mike nodded. Mike came over real early the next morning. We sat like statues in the new fort. We waited and waited. No rainbows. The day after that, Mike came for lunch. We waited in the fort again. Still, no rainbows. Monday was rainy. Mike thought for sure we would see the little rainbows again, but the rainbows didn't come. On Tuesday, Kelly wore her teardrop necklace to school. I didn't think the necklace would help, but I didn't have any other clues. Can you make a rainbow? I asked her. I can try, Kelly said. She stood by the window and moved her necklace in the light. Look, I yelled. The teacher came over. He's a really nice guy. I showed him the rainbow. Terrific, Mr. Royal said. He called the other kids over. Kelly's necklace is like a prism, Mr. Royal told us. A prism is a special piece of clear glass or plastic. It separates light into the 7 rainbow colours. A prism? Maybe a prism made the rainbows on the wall in my house. Mr. Royal didn't say anything else about prisms, but he told us stuff about rainbows. I wrote it all down. Oh, let's see what she's written there. Rainbow stuff. An easy way to remember the colours of the rainbow. They spell a name. Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Indigo is just a fancy name for dark blue. Oh, there you go. I remember them in a different way. I remember them with something to do with old English kings, which probably doesn't make any sense to anyone apart from me. After school, I told Mike about the necklace. It's a clue, I said, but I don't know enough about prisms. Mike nodded. He got a look in his eye. I knew what he was going to say. The library, he said. So we went to the library and picked out a whole stack of books on rainbows and prisms. The librarian was new. She smiled and turned on the computer screen. Look, she said, we're neighbours. I'm Miss Reed. I bought the house next to yours. I moved in just last week. She seemed nice. I'm Annie. This is Mike, I said. Mike tugged on my sleeve. That meant, hurry up. He wanted to work on the mystery. Come visit sometime, Miss Reed said. Okay, I told her. I flopped on the couch with a fat book. I started reading out loud. A rainbow is made when sunlight is bent by raindrops in the air. A prism bends sunlight too. Mike said nothing. Instead, he gasped. The rainbows were back. I got up. I touched them. The rainbows showed on my fingers too. All 7 colours were there. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. Then I thought of something. What time is it? I asked Mike. Mike looked at his watch. 5 o'clock. Aha! It's the same time as before, I said. We didn't see the rainbows in the morning or at noon. We only saw them after school. Mike nodded. The sun, he said. Yes, I said. I remembered this poster at school. It must have something to do with where the sun is. Like one person, we turned around and stared out the window. So where is it? Mike asked. I don't know. Let's go outside and look. We rushed outside. No wonder we couldn't see the sun from the family room. It was behind the house next door. The answer to our mystery is in that house, I said. Mike nodded. At exactly 4:30 the next day, we rang the doorbell of Miss Reed's house. Annie, Mike, she said, you came for a visit. Come in. We followed her inside. Before I could stop myself, the question burst out of me. Miss Reed, do you have a prism in your house? Miss Reed looked puzzled. A prism? No, I don't think so. I was sad to hear that, but I didn't give up. Miss Reed could have a prism and not know it. She gave us lemonade and cookies. Then she asked if we'd like a tour of the house. Yes, Mike and I said at the same instant. Miss Reed showed us the dining room. No prisms anywhere. So we went into the living room. Still no prisms. We took the stairs up to the 2nd floor. The answer had to be up there. This is the music room, Miss Reed said. She opened a door. My favourite part is the chandelier. I just bought it. I had no idea what a chandelier was. Maybe the fancy light on the ceiling, but I didn't care. I was looking for prisms. On the floor, in the cabinet, on the wall. Then Mike grabbed my arm. The sun had come out from behind a cloud. Light streamed into the room. It hit the glass chandelier and rainbows danced on the wall next to the window, just like in my family room. I ran to the window. Yes, I could see into my house. I could see into the family room. I could see the rainbows on the wall too. For once, I had nothing to say. But Mike did. The glass chandelier is like a bunch of prisms, he yelled. I stared at him. It was the longest sentence I had ever heard him say. What do you mean? Miss Reed asked. I told her the whole story about the rainbows and Kelly's necklace and the library books. I even told her about making the fort from the big box Mike found outside. A big box? Miss Reed asked. Was it by my house? Yes, I said. The chandelier came in that box, she said. I looked at Mike. Mike looked at me. The box, the biggest clue of all, was in my house the whole time. Some detectives we were. I've included this last slide. It's not part of the story, but it's some really good instructions for making your own rainbow. So you can use water to make a prism as well, or you make a rainbow using the water. So let's read through this page. Think like a scientist. Mike and Annie think like scientists, and so can you. Scientists are like detectives. They investigate. They look for clues and draw conclusions. A conclusion is what you learn from doing an investigation. You can make your own rainbow. You will need a clear plastic cup half full of water, a flashlight, a sheet of white paper. Carefully put the cup on the table or a counter so that about a third hangs over the edge. Hold the paper behind the cup while you shine the flashlight up through the bottom of it. What do you see? What conclusion can you draw? You can also do this just on a wall. If you've got a glass with some water in, and you make sure you can see the sun coming through a window, and you put the glass up where the sun is going to catch it, then you might be able to make just a rainbow on the wall just by holding the glass up in the right position. But like the page says, be a detective and see if you can find a way of doing it. It would be really good to see. If you do make a rainbow, take a photo and let me see it, because I'd love to see rainbows. They're my favourite. Right, I'll have a read of another story next week because it's book week, which is very exciting. And enjoy your weekend, guys. Bye.